Hello everybody, what's up? My name is Otaku. Today we are going to be going over cosplay back in the day versus now, a retrospective, my personal retrospective more or less. So with that being said, let's get this thing started. So, okay, go to the next slide. Okay, going back, we're going to actually go back in time. This is literally the introduction. Okay. So back in the day, cosplay was a fun hobby. It was all about having fun, in fact, making friends as well, getting photos taken or taken of while in cosplay, as well as memes. Sometimes it's about doing silly things as well, or dances, like the caramel dance, and even creating a meme of some sort and a silly photo. Back in the day, all of us started somewhere when it came to putting it together a simple cosplay, or any cosplay in general. The first cosplay I ever did was Shinji Ikari from Evangelion, as well as Rock from Black Lagoon. These two photos right here, and of course this dank photo of a bunch of Karos hugging a angel from Evangelion. So, where was I? Okay. Those were my first two starter cosplays, right? Simple to throw together cosplay. Why? Because back in the day, I had no idea how to create a cosplay or anything like that, let alone like modding. So I found, like simple characters such as Shinji Ikari, Koyuki from Beck, Rock from Black Lagoon. Really any simple cosplay that I normally did. Back in the day, like I said, we all start from the bottom. Even when you are starting out in cosplay, it's always good to start out simple and small. All right, now we're gonna open up the time capsule. So the time capsule has basically been opened. I opened Pandora's box. Now let's hop into the time machine and go back in time with how the cosplay community used to be back in the day. Whenever it came to creation of a cosplay, we would use whatever we had for a build, like cardboard, Ava foam. Mainly, from cardboard to Ava foam, we would try to create whatever we could with whatever materials. Back then, I used to use cardboard back in the day. Believe it or not, obviously, I used cardboard for like 3 to 4 years to create certain things, and then I just slowly started learning how to mod stuff. Not mod, but like create like a piece of armor from cardboard and also craft foam. But like I said, why I use cardboard, because it was basically my starting out material when it came to building armor. And also my first big cosplay I did back in the day, I was obsessed with this game, which was called Jet Set Radio, and I cosplayed the character Beat from the game, which is this character right here. And of course, it looks basic, right? But most of it was bought, with the exception of the goggles. The goggles I painted and modded, basically. That's when I actually learned the basics of modding. Like I said, cosplay was all about having fun and sometimes acting as a character from an anime or video game. And back in the day, you would make a cosplay and have fun, fun with it. Also, cosplay is all about making new friends, meeting new people. You could go as Naruto, and you could go in a Naruto cosplay and meet the same person who is into the same fandom as you. Basically, like I said, it's all about making friends and all about learning about like certain builds and whatnot, as well as the journey itself. Now we're gonna go a little bit into photo shoots back in the day. So, okay, where do I even begin with this one? So this is something I wanted to talk about, due to the fact that social media was slowly becoming a thing. From my point of view, because I had like a flip phone back in the day, I did not know much about photo shoots and whatnot. It was a tiny bit hard to find a group photo shoot back in the day from like 2014 to 2016. Like I said, I had a flip phone. I did not have a smartphone back then, and it was hard for me to get into a group photo shoot and whatnot, because it was just hard, unorganized for me. Sometimes, depending on the host, such as myself, it would be a bit unorganized, but you would still have fun with it, right? And, oh, didn't mean to do that. Reason why I bring up social media is because I used to try to find events at conventions via Facebook. It was kind of hard for me because, like I said, I had an old flip phone back in the day, which was not a smartphone, but now I have a new cell phone. Technology has evolved, of course. And I would have to write down, like, what I would be doing at a convention, more or less, and what photo shoots are going down. And of course, they would always have the guidebook at a convention, like NecoCon, Anime Mid-Atlantic, Otakon, stuff like that, basically. But other than that, going to group photo shoots with different fandoms was a fun thing to do back in the day. And also a great way to meet up with like-minded people as well. Alright, now we are on to photo shoots now. Okay, so photo shoots are now easier to host, more or less. This one's going to be very, very short and straight to the point. So, hosting a photo shoot is way easier than it was back in the day. With social media, it's easier to plan group photo shoots and also easier to coordinate as well. Facebook and Instagram usually do the trick. Also, there's always a coordinator to help out if you're new to hosting photo shoots, because I didn't mention, when I hosted my first group photo shoot for Vocaloid, I did not know what the heck I was doing back in the day. Literally, I did not know what I was doing. I just kind of rolled with it, and and it turned out to be a great experience, honestly. Like, it was a learning experience, but, like, now my photo shoots are usually well organized. And like I said, it's easier to start up an event now these days with social media. And like I said, technology has evolved like a Pokemon almost. Alright, next. Store-bought and handmade cosplays back then. Alright, this one I actually like to get into because, like I said, I was just new to making and modding cosplays, and I kind of jumped into this hobby without, like, knowing what to do. So, speaking from experience, I've only bought, like, 3 store-bought cosplays back in the day. Reason being because I didn't know how to mod or make a cosplay back in the day, depending on the cosplay. And when it comes down to it, cosplay, like, itself, it is an expensive hobby, depending on how you go on about it. But it's, like, one of those things that, like, you would need to save up for or work for, more or less, when it comes to store-bought cosplay, because depending on the cosplay, it costs a lot back then. Now, the straight jacket for Akito, this one right here, back then, I think, if I remember correctly, it costed $70 from eBay total with everything, including the wig. I think it costed like 50 or 60. I don't remember. It was like years ago. But regardless, cosplay, buying a store-bought costume was very expensive back in the day, at least from my point of view, because, yeah, it was just really expensive, and it was hard to come by. And of course, you would have to keep in mind with measurements and whatnot. Sometimes the costume wouldn't be the exact measurement or whatever the case may be. And you would have to do a test fit and all that stuff. Other than that, yeah. And if it didn't fit you, you would have to send it back, and that would just create a whole entire problem. That's never happened to me in my entire life, not gonna lie, but that was one of the cosplay problems that some cosplayers faced back then. Even when I started smithing armor, I faced some obstacles. Well, not some. I used to use cardboard, like I said. Like this right here, my Oni Link armor, all made out of cardboard, and that's literally what it's made out of. But I'm going to get into handmade and store-bought cosplays in a minute. Well, now. And, of course, like, I had to hand-make the armor, of course, so cardboard, like I said, it was my starting material that I worked with, as well as foam, craft foam, which is what these gauntlets are made of for this cosplay. I've learned a lot about, like, making different things out of cardboard and foam, for the most part. And some materials tend to be expensive, some materials can be inexpensive, just depending on what you're going for and how you want to build it, really. Alright, on to the next thing. Handmade and store-bought versus handmade and store-bought now. Okay, so now these days, some cosplays can be cheap depending on what site you use. I'm not the biggest expert on buying, but from what I've researched, some cosplays are cheap now these days. Cosplayers can make cosplays very easily, depending on what you're going for. Normally, I try not to overcomplicate things. Usually, what I do for a cosplay is what I normally do is I will go to Goodwill and say, okay. So these two are my prime examples of modded cosplays. Like for Reaper Hunk, I pretty much bought most of the stuff at Goodwill and the rest of the stuff on Amazon. Handmade the scythe out of PVC pipe and cardboard, and modded the mask, gave it a new paint job, and yes, I'm able to see out these red lenses. And the jacket for Dante, I managed to get lucky and find it from Goodwill, as well as the boots. And the gloves I had left over from another cosplay as well. Like I said, buying a cosplay or modding in general is very easy. And I try not to overcomplicate things. I try to keep it simple, depending on the costume, really. But, I just got into foam smithing, right? And it's been... Actually, foam smithing, not gonna lie, is much more fun than using cardboard. Sometimes I'll combine the two together. This is, what I've learned now. And also I modded this as well. This is just a basic hoodie with the word yo-yo written in Japanese. And this is my Samurai Gakupo armor right here. This was made out of EVA foam and cardboard for the shoulder plates because, I didn't like how my old armor looked. So I'm like, you know what, I'm going to try getting into foam smithing. And now it's, like I said, and as for buying store-bought cosplays, it's, more easier. Alright. It's not more easier, it's much easier. Okay, materials. Alright, we're going to get into materials back in the day. Okay. Back when I first started building props, and pieces of armor. Normally I use cardboard as my starting. Like I said, I used cardboard a lot back in the day for starting armor. Or for starting armor back then. I would normally use a box cutter, of course, right? And when I built when I built Sub-Zero's ripped skull and spine, the prop that he uses, not prop, but this was for one of my friends. He used nothing but cardboard and a skull to make this right here, and scraps of Ava foam to make Pyramid Head's helmet from Silent Hill, and this from Mortal Kombat, as well as this as well. I used cardboard and craft foam. I basically used scraps of what I had left over, and some of it I bought as well. That, like I said, I use different types of materials when it comes to hot glue, cardboard, and duct tapes. Well, I rarely use duct tape, not gonna lie. But those were my starting materials back in the day. All right. So okay, now for the fun stuff. This one is gonna be what's it called? Blanking out. This is just gonna be straight to the point. I'm not gonna rush it, but so this topic is going to be about is gonna be all on one slide, obviously, right? Why? Because not too much has changed with this topic. With going up stage, signing up is still the same, just as easy as ever. Just go on the convention website, just sign up, and it's pretty simple, actually. It's self-explanatory. Simple as that. Also, some conventions require you to rehearse for your skit. Just really depends on the rules and with practicing to go up stage. Where was it? If the stage is small, you get what you get. You get what you work with. Usually, if it's a big stage, there's more room to do your own stunts. Example, running or a fight. For example, also there is a waiting room that you would have to wait an hour or two Because literally, like, there was at one point in time where I waited, like, I saw, like, 2 to 3 hours at one point in time. And it's called the Green Room, by the way. And it's just, you get to see a lot of cool stuff in the Green Room and interact with people in the Green Room. But other than that, it's an interesting experience. But if it's a small, like, if the stage is small, then you won't have much to work with. I mean, there was at one point in time I gave a speech about swinging the bat, and I ran off the wrong side of the stage. But, this, I know I'm not getting too much into this topic, but that's, like, the bare basics. Not much has changed with going up stage for masquerades and cosplay contests. Not really much has changed at all. Alright. So, okay, the next thing we're going to get into is the community back in the day and back then. And I'm going to get into something else in a minute, and it's going to be a long one. Keep that in mind. So, back then, back in the day, the cosplay community was simple and fun, right? Speaking from my experience as a con goer, I remember grinding for money with doing chores, working, or to go to a convention, and to make a cosplay. It was one of those hard-working type of things when you want to go on a vacation to escape reality for a bit, sometimes for a day, sometimes for a day or two, sometimes 3 days. And it was a way to meet like-minded individuals who like the same thing as you do. Heck, I mean, even getting into wacky shenanigans is always fun. It's always a fun thing to do back in the day. When I say shenanigans, I'm talking about, like, you know, blasting some music, doing the caramel dancing, and basically just kind of starting one giant party or one giant dance party, you know. And what else? Also yelling whatever you want, and also doing any random silly action you want to do, like, you know, running around the convention, doing a Naruto run, stuff like that, you know. As long as it's not profane. When I say profane, I mean, like, you know, really something dumb and stupid. And getting everyone else in on the joke, right? Talking about how you just lost a game meme as well. I mean, heck, there was hardly even any drama in the cosplay community. It was more of a place of acceptance and love, which is now got to be my third or fourth thing I'm gonna get into. All right, the community now. God, this is something I've been wanting to actually get into a little bit. So the community itself has changed over the years. It's become an entirely different game and environment. I'm going to get in both yin and yang, I don't know if I pronounced that right, of the cosplay community. Basically, the good and the bad, more or less, and also the ugly. It's something I've been wanting to speak about for years, and it's been on my mind for the longest time. So, the first part of the cosplay community that's changed over the years is social media, like I said. Social media has helped a lot with, like, you know, getting people together, getting people ready for events, helping each other out, that type of thing, right? And, of course, getting fandoms together. So, now I'm going to get into, that's the only yin I can say, but there always is a light at the end of the tunnel. So, now I'm going to get into the bad, which is, boy, I've been wanting to speak about this for years, so I'm going to go for it. So, okay. So I've been wanting to speak about negative stuff in the cosplay community, right? The cosplay community, all the way from drama to pot stirring to people being judgmental to one another, as well as rumors starting, which goes into the category of pot stirring, more or less. The first one on the list I'm going to cover is people being judgmental in the cosplay community. It's annoying as sin when people do this type of thing, like saying, "Oh, your cosplay looks like garbage. Oh, you're black, so you shouldn't cosplay this character." Yada yada yada, that type of thing. Or like your wig is not solved correctly, or you don't look like the character. That type of thing, right? This is like I said, this isn't really really annoying in my opinion, but like I said, the best way to like combat against this type of thing is to just spread love, positivity, positive vibes, man. And also just ignore them as well. Ignore the judgmental, ignorant people. And spread love. And spread the word about acceptance in the cosplay community, as well as positivity as well. Like I said, those who spread negativity in the cosplay community honestly really have nothing better to do. The yin of the cosplay community is to just basically build each other up, spread love, positivity, positive vibes, man. That's really what it's about. Alright, having fun in conclusion. So, okay. This one's going to be very short and straight to the point. Like I said, cosplay is for everyone. Hold up, let me get some more because I've been talking a lot. That feels better. So, okay, cosplay is for everyone. Doesn't matter how you look, what race, how tall you are, how big you are, yada yada yada. Cosplay is a hobby that makes others happy, no matter how much the community has changed over time, over the years. Only you, yes, I'm talking to like all the audience right now. Only you can only you can make the best of it. The community may have changed over the years, but only you can, as an individual, can make it better and help this community. Have fun. Like I said, have fun. Be one with creation. Create anything you want out of any material. Do the best you can when it comes to creation. Have fun. Make friends. Meet new people. Set the best example you can in the community to make it better and more fun. So that's like I said, this is my personal take and my recollection of things that have like how the cosplay community has changed over the years. So let's see what mark are we at right now. Oh wow, I've gone over 24 minutes. Holy heck. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one or next stream. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys later and peace out. Take care. Bye.